This is Nicodemus, and on today's episode, I wanted to go over love is our true nature. So I found a Bible quote, God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God. That's John 4:16. Then we talked about the ACIM quote, teach only love, for that is what you are. So we're just talking about the core belief that our true essence is love.
Yeah. It really is it's interesting because we're using words, and I think if we start with what the Course says about words are symbols of our thoughts, which are symbols of the thing itself. So anytime we use words with each other, it's in many ways we're twice removed from what the thing is. So even the how do we define love? For all of us, this idea of love, our idea of love is very limited in many ways because it's molded by societal conditions, Hollywood, the music we grew up on. When we think of love, we have our family dynamics and then all the dramas and the personalities and the clashes that happen in families. And just when you look at what love is and where we learn love from, it it brings up an idea that is our view of love limited as humans? Like, can we only see up to a certain point? Because when we talk about God's love, this agape love, we could do our best to reflect that here. But our minds, as we've talked on the channel, are split into two thought systems. That one is built on love and the other is built on fear. So for us, we're in a situation now where we get to choose to really learn how to love ultimately. And I think that that's actually even in Jesus' teaching in the Bible, a big core of the teaching is it is a gospel of love. It is a gospel of love your neighbors as yourself, as I have loved you, and like teaching that and really, turning the other cheek and being an example of Christ consciousness. Now, with this idea of love, the Course says something interesting too, because you read, teach only love, for that is what you are. Actually, that's what Jesus says is the message of the crucifixion, that the whole message is to teach only love, for that's what you are, that nothing in this world could affect the love that we are. The only love is real, and that is really a reflection of the love of God that is so beyond anything that we can really grasp or understand. And we strive for that. So we're there, it's really a humbling place for all of us to be. And not humbling, the Course would actually say it's not humility. Humility is stepping into our function that God gave us. But for us, it could feel like, wow, I'm learning how to love, almost like I'm a child learning a very simple skill set that was the world taught me really the opposite of. And it's loving myself, loving what I see, loving everyone, and teaching that, having that be the one lesson that I learned to teach over and over again. So I say that for us so we can have patience with ourselves, and also that we really aspire to this greater love that what he says in the Course, he says in the introduction, and I did a video recently on the introduction. In the introduction, it says the Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love. So the Course, Jesus isn't trying to teach us the meaning of love, for that's beyond what can be taught. It can't be taught to us. What we can do is we could start learn to train our mind so much that we listen of the Holy Spirit, that in the world of form in our lives, we learn how to bring love to every single situation. It really gets generalized. The miracle, which is the expression of that love, it's generalized to all situations that show up. And that's how it's not taught to us. It's really in some ways remembered, because to remember is to be a member again, which means we have always been a member of the of love, of the sonship of love. So he goes on, he says, the Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that's beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. So the Course is all about removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence within us and what we are already, which is your natural inheritance, Jesus says. So it's already been given to us. It's our natural inheritance. It's what we inherited in creation. We got the speck of God, of love, of eternity as what we are as beings. And he goes on. Now, this is very important part. He says, the opposite of love is fear, but what is all encompassing can have no opposite. So the opposite of love is fear. That's the game that you and I are in. That's why we have a choice. There is no love and fear in heaven or God. That makes no sense, because God is only love, joy, light. I mean, all these descriptions fall short. What he says in the Course is God is. and we refuse to speak anymore about God after that because everything we're going to say is going to fall short. So in this idea of meaning of love, what we're doing is we're learning how to teach love so we learn it. Remember, he says to have peace, teach peace, to learn it. So in the expression of love, we 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 push away from the opposite, that's fear, and we begin to get a glimpse of what is all encompassing that actually has no opposite. So in the Bible, when he's saying to be of love is of God, that is the whole point of the teaching. And really the teaching of the Christ is to learn for us to respond with love in every single scenario in our life. And then to really be that beacon or expression of the light, which is ultimately our function here and why we're here, is to express that love, express that light out into the world. So give that a shot in your life of when even the situations which are really challenging, see if you can say, what does love look like in here? Not that what I learned and all of that. And see if I can even put that aside. Like, what does that agape type love of God look like? And how do I respond in this moment with that? And see what your results are.